I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Adam Farmer. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing fantastic with a capital F, my friend.
Well, that's great to hear. Tell us, what part of the world are you in right now, Adam?
I am in Chicago, Illinois. I am a native of Chicago.
Well, that's great to hear.
And yes, and actually, we have some great weather today. It's about 50 degrees. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, do tell us, Adam, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
Well, I was thinking about that earlier, and I would say that it has to be my talent of connectedness.
Your talent
Um,
of connectedness. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. So we connected via LinkedIn, and I'm quite sure that LinkedIn probably knew that we needed to know each other. And here we are, my friend.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? That LinkedIn would do that for us, right? It's truly an amazing tech that's going on. I think LinkedIn is on a spin around, right? I was doing Facebook the last time we did the goal for 1001 conversations. This
Hmm.
time, though, well, the goal was 1509, we got to 1001, but this time I switched over to LinkedIn, and wow, it's been fascinating, the experience.
Ever since Microsoft took them over, I think that their machine learning in the background is really starting to kick in, and so it's some powerful connections.
Hmm.
And so when I saw your request and I saw what you were trying to accomplish, I'm always willing to help anybody out who has a goal and is determined to get something done. So I said, hey,
Let's
let's
do
let's do it.
this.
Right.
Well, yeah, I did find you through keyword searches. Specifically on this goal, I wanted to connect with anyone surrounding really the podcast world, be it the podcaster, the producer, or even the podcast co-host. And you definitely had a podcast, right? So tell us about what you did
I
on your
did.
podcast, please.
So my podcast was called Profit Pathway, and I'm actually going to revitalize it in 2018. So I'm really
Sweet.
excited about that. And I'm an advocate for entrepreneurs. So I really want to what I've learned in my career is that a lot of people want to work for themselves. They want to own some sort of a business. They just don't really know how to do that, especially when you look at the millennial generation. The millennials want to know, how do you do certain things? And so I really want to help guide and direct people who want to be in business for themselves. How do you really choose the right business for yourself? How do you really, what is the upfront cost? What are the hard costs? What are the soft costs? How long does it really take for you to become profitable? And so my podcast is all about profit pathway. So I don't want people to just be in business. I want people to have profitable businesses. And for me, in my world, profitable means that you're producing something that is good, that the marketplace will be willing to pay you for. And so it's really a learned skill and a learned set of strengths for people to really make that transition from working for somebody for 5, 10, 15 years to now working for yourself and being the leader of an organization. How do you really make that leap? And I want to be there and use the podcast as a content creator to help people make that transition.
Who did you learn entrepreneurship from?
My dad was always, he had a full time job, but he always had a side hustle, right? I'm from one of those families in Chicago where we weren't wealthy, but I didn't grow up poor, right? I was able to, my parents were able to afford things for us, but my dad, he always had this job and he always was on somebody else's schedule. And so I don't think that he really, and my dad has gone on to be with the Lord now, but I don't think he really ever fully immersed himself in what he really wanted to do, which was to be his own boss and to run his own construction company. He is, we call it the golden handcuffs, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
He's so
definitely
used
know
to
what
that.
that is. Hmm.
Yeah, so used to that check every 2 weeks. And people think that there's security wrapped up in that. And the world has changed.
Hmm.
And jobs today are different than they were when our parents grew up. I was thinking about this earlier, Angel, and I remember in 2005, I, I I don't know if I read a statistic or I heard a statistic from one of my mentors that said by the year 2020, more than 50% of the jobs in America would be part-time jobs.
Hmm. Wow.
That was 2005, and here we are, almost 15 years later, and his prediction is almost exact.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
it is
so
fascinating the marketplace
it,
we're in right now.
And so if you don't figure out how to do what you're doing, right? Take an online business, create content that the marketplace would then find value in and pay you for it. And if you can't figure out how to make a living on a laptop with an internet connection anywhere in the world, then you're going to have a hard time finding steady income from now on.
If you had to give a prediction on where you see the laptop worker, right, being in the next 20 years thereafter, where do you foresee that type of entrepreneurship going?
I think it has the potential to be huge, right? But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of clutter. There's already a lot of clutter,
Hmm.
and so it's really going to be those entrepreneurs like yourself, like John Lee Dumas, like myself, who've really kind of honed in on what is the one thing that I do better than anybody else in the world. And so for me, Adam Farmer, I am the best in the world at spiritual and professional well being.
Hmm.
So I promote the spiritual and professional well being of humanity. And what I found is I then am able to mix my ministry work because I have a Master of Divinity degree with my professional businessman, and I'm able to integrate both of those individuals into one to be a more holistic person. And that's the gift that I'm offering to the world. And my goal is, like you said, like you've written on your website, Zig Ziglar, one of our greats, said,
Hmm.
if you help enough people get what it is that they want, then in the process, you receive everything that you're supposed to have as well.
Yeah.
And so what I really do is help people focus in on with clarity and confidence about four things: their purpose. What are you really here on earth to do? That unique purpose that God has given you. Then we want to figure out what you're really good at. What are the talents that gave you? That if you spent more time just focusing on those talents, they become strengths. Then we work on your vision, right? Because now you have to have a vision to lead an organization because people will want to come along this journey with you. And then the fourth thing is, how do you develop a dream team? Are you the type of leader that can go out and cast a vision with people so that they would be willing to follow you or join you on the journey that God has given you to produce something in the world that only you can produce with the help of others?
Hmm. Love it.
So I'm the best in the world at helping people with that journey. And it is a lifelong journey, but it is one of the best journeys that people can go on. So I'm really excited about the work that God has called me to do, and and producing something good in the world and having some impact.
Love it. Where do we point people to connect with you, Adam?
The best way to really connect with me is on LinkedIn, to be honest, because I don't have enough bandwidth to maintain my own website. I wish I had what you had. I don't have the bandwidth to do that, and I don't want to hire somebody to tell them what I want because that's like doing extra work.
Yeah.
So the best way to connect with me is via LinkedIn, and all of my handles on social media are Adam Farmer TV,
Sweet.
like Adam Farmer Television. Yep.
All right, all right. Well, we've definitely blown through our first two segments. Let's switch gears now, Adam, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm blue Caribbean water. Adam, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory is I was about 6 or 7, and I was playing in the parking lot. I was learning to ride a skateboard, and I remember falling off of the skateboard onto my backside, and I thought I was going to die because I had I had all of the wind knocked out of me, and so
Wow.
I thought I was going to die that day learning to ride a skateboard, and I've had fond memories at that time. So,
So, why do you think this memory is so clear, and can you connect the dots to that memory to who you are now, today?
yeah, I think it's clear to me because my oldest son is 12, and now he is learning to skateboard.
Wow.
And so originally, when he asked me to start riding a skateboard with him, there was some I didn't want to do it, and I had to ask myself, like, why did I not want to do that? Like, why didn't I want to get on a skateboard? And it was because I had to go back and think about it, and that was the memory that it connected to. So I had a painful memory up until that point where my son asked me to learn how to skateboard with him, and so I had a choice to make. I could either let that past memory continue to affect me negatively, or I could overcome it and live in the present moment with my son, who was asking me to create this new memory. And so I chose the latter.
Wow. Well, that's intriguing. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Oh, absolutely.
I love the idea of entrepreneurship being that feeling that you feel when you get on a skateboard and the breeze is blowing through your hair and you are getting things done. But truly, the truth is, the reality is, you can get knocked off. You can get the wind knocked out of you. And having the things in place, the processes that are necessary to get back up, understanding that failure in air quotes is definitely part of that process, part of profit pathways. It's intriguing to me that you are that individual that are helping others get back up who have gotten the wind knocked out, more so preparing those who may get the wind knocked out of them as well.
Because it's not a matter of if the wind is going to get knocked out of
It's
you. It's
when.
when. That's right. What are you going to do about it?
That's
That's right.
amazing. That's amazing. If we fast forwarded to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Was my favorite song was oh my goodness, what is the name? Oh, I can hear it playing in my mind.
I'm sure you'll get it. It's in the archives, so.
It is. Oh man, 'cause we performed that song too. Yeah. So Mr. Telephone Man was released in '84.
Right.
Yep. And I know we performed it when I was in sixth grade, which was '86. Because in '85 I was in fifth grade. That's when the space shuttle blew up. Yeah.
There
So
we
that's
go.
about right.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I love to connect dots to this name of the song sometimes, just the words of the song, but definitely after falling off of that skateboard, after years after, right? And now with your new son, it's just amazing, right? The new edition is here.
That's right. The new edition is here.
Well, Adam, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there is a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Adam?
I am ready.
Adam, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married? Do you
Yes.
have children?
I have two boys.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Never.
How about, wow, what about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more
Well,
than
now, yeah.
Adam, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months, in 2016, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is called Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And the idea is you answer questions similar to these, hopefully uncovering your own unique real statement, your mission, if you would. Adam, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Adam Farmer, what would you say that is?
Adam Farmer is a promoter of spiritual and professional well-being of mankind.
Love it. Adam, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I just want to thank you for the time to have this 12-minute conversation. I really enjoy the work that you're doing and helping as many people as you can. If there's anything that I can do in the future, or if you want to do a part 2, then just let me know, and anything that I can do to help anyone, yourself, your wife, or anyone in your audience, just hit me up on LinkedIn and we can make that happen.
Love it. Adam Farmer, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.